Hello guys, welcome to the flight today as we have a brand new aircraft, the Fenix A320. Lovely aircraft to fly. I've done some test flights with it as we welcome it to the channel. We're going to be doing a flight from Marseille to Bordeaux. We've got the Easyjet livery as we take off from lovely Marseille on our routines today. Now, I have done some test flights with the aircraft. We're going to be flying a VOR approach, so we'll try that out. As that is something new for me with the Airbus, as obviously I only fly Boeing. So, we should be in for some nice views, a nice approach, and hopefully a lovely soft landing on arrival. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Leave your comments down below. If you'd like to support the channel, then hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the cockpit ready to start the aircraft up for our pre-flight procedures and get the EFB all ready for our speeds. Here we are in the Fenix A320. We've got everything here. We've got an EFB, which is absolutely fantastic, so we can get our V-speeds, our flex temps, etc. on for the departure. We're going to be leaving out of 31 right, sorry, as we depart. We've got the boarding all coming on, which is going lovely. There's the boarding, which is complete. So we can go over and just double check. So we've got planned 161, which are boarded. Got 4,800 kilos, which is 4.8 tons on the cargo. We've got 6.3 in the tanks, gross weight 68.0. and we are leaving out the zero fuel weight of 61.7. So as the aircraft is all ready to go, we get battery 1 and 2 all on and ready and set. Get the external power on, which is checked. Get the fuel pumps all in. Cruise supplier, which can go off. Going to start the APU up. Give that 2 seconds. Start that up. Put on the emergency lights. Get and test fire tests. So there's 1. There's 2, it's probably because I've got the warnings off. And there's 3, which is checked. We'll go over to nav 1, 2 and 3 for the IRSs, which will be all set and checked for us. All our screens and everything will be ignited once we leave. We can light everything up as we go. So we go into the perf, the initial, as we get the aircraft all set to go. So we're doing from Lima Foxtrot Mike Lima, and we're going to Lima Foxtrot Bravo Delta, okay, which is in. As we go there, the IRS can align that, confirm the align, which is checked. For our flight number today, we're taking the U21768. Which is in. Cost index is going to be 8, and we're going for a cruise level of 290. Okay, which is going to be checked. On for the flight plan, going to get that all in for the departure. We're leaving 31 right. We're taking the Foxtrot Juliet Romeo 6 November. Okay, which is right here. From there, we'll just go down. Once we get to the Foxtrot Juliet, we're going to be then taking a direct to Golf Alpha India. From Golf Alpha India, we're then going to be taking direct to Seychelles. From Seychelles, we're then going to take the Romeo 17. Which directs to Merba, and then Merba's going to come in for the arrival. We're taking the Merba 9 Lima. We're doing the VOR approach coming in for runway 23. We're taking the Merba 9 Lima, which is right here, which is checked. So we set that all in. That's all done. Get rid of any flight discontinuities if there are any, which there shouldn't be. There's the intercept, and as we come through. So that's basically us all ready to come in. A 3-degree glide path, which we're going to rise through. Just wait for the IRS, which has got 6 minutes to go. Get the APU bleed on now. There's the master switch, get the window heats on as well, which are checked. Everything overhead, we'll go in and get our V-speeds, which will be very important for us today. I'm looking forward to this as we get our flex temps and everything all in, which is going to be really nice to do. So, we'll sync the load sheet final, which is checked. We can sync the weather, calculate that through. So we've got 153, 153 and a 155 for rotate. Which is checked, trans 5000, 1010, so 1000 feet is where we reduce. Okay, which is checked. Flap settings, flaps 1 down 0.1. And a flex temp of 64. Okay, that's everything down on the loads. Let's go to our perf, the initial. Okay, so 0 fuel weight and 0 fuel weight CG. Let's go and get that down. So 67.8, 29.2. For the fuel, we're going to be taking out the fuel, which we said was is around 6 point. For fuel, 6.2. Okay, which is in 7.8, 29, etc. So that's all us there. Let's go into the flight plan. Get that all in, 68, 61, so 61.7. There we go, and that leaves us 67.7, which is just about bang on. So on for the departure when we leave out onto the Foxtrot Juliet November, which is going to be out of lovely Marseille. We're going to leave out runway 31 right. Take it on 4.2 nautical miles onto 312 track, then we make a left hand turn onto the 193 to get to Marseille, which is the 117.3, and then we've got the Frodroses, which is the 114.45. So going to our nav radios, we'll get the 113, 173, okay, which is going to be in, and we want the 114.45. Okay, so 117.3, which is there, the Mach Tango Golf. Don't know why that one's a little bit wonky. 296. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one blank. B speeds and everything are all set and ready to go. Winds, we can request the winds, which hopefully should come on. The IRS got 3 minutes to go. TA, which can go on as well. Right. Company message as well. So we've got the data uplink, which is checked on the ground 29010. Okay. So you can see all the way up to 29 we're going to. So everything is all ready. The aircraft's fully stabilised and ready to go. So there's not much really left on that front. We're just basically waiting for the IRS, which is going to be done. We can lock the cockpit door, which is going to be set to leave. Get the QNHs, which is going to be good for us. The QNH is 1013, which is set in cross-chair. It's going to put 290 in. Okay, which will be managed. Get the beacon on. Now we can go to 1. Right, pretty much all set. So 2 minutes to go, and then we're going to get ready to leave. So ground services now. Chocks are on. APU is now switched over, so we can get rid of the GPU. Chocks are all on. Everything else has left. And we're just waiting now for the iris, and then we'll get ready to go. So the airport is basically, the runway is just over there, so we're just going to come out, make a left, and then we're going to swing round onto a 3-1 right. Depart straight out, take a left hand turn. The wings look absolutely lovely in this aircraft, and they do, the flaps flap quite a lot when the aircraft touches down on the runway. So the VRR approach is going to run in, we'll switch over to the track and the flight path angle. We'll hit the approach button, and then we'll see the vertical deviation and everything all pop up and align on our journey today. So, hope you guys do enjoy the Fenix, as I think it's a really nice aircraft. So there's the IRS, which is all in. So as we are now all ready, I'm going to connect the tug, as we are now ready to go. APU bleed is on. As we get ready to push, we'll then get the ignition start. Check to make sure everything's all ready. Go down to the APU, which is available, flaps open. I'll go down for our engines, which are all set. Make sure everybody is clear and ready to go, which they should be. And we can now commence our push. Parking brake off. Okay, and away we go. So we're going to go for engine number 2. Full thrust levers down, as it was originally up. There we see N2 now increasing. And now tell the aircraft to now push back and go to the left and to the right. Just hear engine number 2 now coming in. Just see the hydraulics and everything come through once we see them on the Addons. Okay, so there's the ailerons coming through with the hydraulics. Okay, EGT is now increasing for engine number 2. Okay, just now continue going back. Go for engine number 2 to stabilise. You can tell the tug now to stop us. Okay, which is checked. CGT now stabilises. We'll then get engine number 1 now in. Okay, which is checked. N2 is increasing. All pressure attempts will come to life. And then 25%. As I'm saying it like a Boeing, it's all done automatically for us here. So engine number 1's now coming in. You can hear it firing up. GT is now increasing for engine number 1, which is checked. It's managed mode on everything, speed, heading and our altitude, which is all correct. VWARs, which can be punched in, which are also checked and set. 296, which is going to take us for the Foxtrot Juliet Romeo. Okay, so there's the buses basically switching over. You can tell the tug now, which is left. The tug should stop. Right. Parking brake can go on. As the tug now leaves. Company message, which you can quickly just check. Okay, 6167.8, which is correct. Passenger 616 plus 5. We can accept that off. Okay, engine number 2 and 1 now are both set and checked. So takeoff config, which will get set up. Get the flaps in, which you guys can see. So we're going for flaps 1. Which is checked. As the sun is right above us, the cockpit is just a little dark. And get the flight recorder system up so you guys can see the lovely takeoff with Easyjet. So that's on record now. So for the APU bleed can be turned off, the master APU can be switched off as well. We can put nav2 on, which is checked, fasten seatbelt signs, no smokings are on. Cabin has been advised, flaps 1 which is set, spoilers which can be armed, takeoff config, auto brake max, and we can now test that, which is normal. And we are now ready to leave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the control column over. I'm going to release the parking brake, and we'll get on our way to a lovely Bordeaux. Going to be taking a left-hand turn from here. The texturing on the wings is absolutely lovely, it's fantastic. As we say goodbye to Marseille. Oh, excuse me guys. Okay, so for Navigraph, just before we make that left-hand turn, as we say, we're going to hit 4.2 nautical miles, the Mike Lima 310, and then we're going to take it on to the 193, which is the 117. Okay, so there's the Mike Tango, and we're going to be hitting that down for the 193. Going to be doing a VOR approach, which should be very interesting as well, as it is just a little bit different with the Airbus to the Boeing. Okay, as we taxi on down, taxi lights are on, APU will go off. She's checked. APU's now off. As we now taxi on down, we'll check our taxi charts. So we're going to follow it all the way down and come on to Delta 8. So we'll test out the performance of the aircraft. We've got a flex temp of 68 coming through. And for our perf, 64, which is going to give us down on our N1 speeds. As we just come through. N1 speed is going to be 89.3. Takeoff config is normal. Delta 8, which will be our second left, second right. Reaching out on the departure, we was leaving inbound onto the Foxtrot Juliet. We're coming in onto the 193. Okay. Right, Tango Golf, which is set as well. So a lovely taxi out. Wing flex is quite nice on the aircraft as well. The flaps do shudder quite a bit on the landing, which is nice to see. And you've got the vertical stabilizer, which rocks away on takeoff. So as I was saying, we've got 89.3 on the flex for 64. It's Delta 8 coming up. So cabin crew, prepare yourselves for departure. So before takeoff chatters, we've got speed modes which are managed on overhead and then altitude which is set and checked. V speeds which coming out are going to be 153, 153 and a 15A, 83.3 coming out on the N1. Okay, strobe lights can go on now, which are checked. Cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Thank you. Okay, so we're now ready to go and leave lovely Marseille. We've just got standby which is set and checked. Landing lights which can go all on. Nose to take off which is set. So guys, we are all ready to leave. So push forward on the column. That's around 40%. Stabilized. And toga. Manual flex, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue, thrust set. Airspeed live. 100 knots, he's back on the controls. B1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. So just a little bit of wind on the departure. V2 speed, acceleration height will be 1000 AGL. Pull back now, go into climb speed, which is set. Pitch down on the nose. So now depart out of lovely Marseille. Okay, so we'll switch over in just a second as we go into that left hand turn now. Speed checks, that's up. Yeah, we're going to hold down for 210. Come back in onto that right hand turn. Okay, autopilot 1, which can go in. Absolutely stunning views. So we get everything all in, protected windshield, got number 1, auto, which can go on. That should get rid of our messages, navigate to beyond, which can be cleared. Ground supporters which are armed, we take them back off. lights, which are all off and checked. As we climb through 6,000 feet, QNHs can now be switched over to standard. Which are checked. Let's go to that right hand turn now. As we leave lovely Marseille, absolutely beautiful aircraft. It's definitely worth to get, guys. I would recommend it, and I don't fly Airbuses, but there is some qualities with the Airbus that you don't get with the Boeings. And I do like the auto trim where you don't have to always be banging away at the trim wheel, which is something which is quite nice to see. So we're going to go up to 250 on our speed now. It's passing 8,003 as we head off around the ocean, then we'll swing around the coast, cut across into Bordeaux. As you can see now, we've just left the Mike Tango Golf VOR, which will then lead us back through. I'll show you the arrival when we come in, which is going to be really nice. So for the Merba, we're doing the VOR approach. We're going to hit Merba below 17,000 feet. We'll take that for 24 nautical miles until we get to Le Bout, which is our initial approach fix. From the initial approach fix, for the initial VOR for the runway, we're going to hit Le Bout, and then follow it onto the 315 track, and then intercept onto the 228, which takes us 10 nautical miles from Bravo Mike Charlie, which is our VOR for the airport, which is the 11375. And then from there, 10 nautical miles, we then start to descend down on the 3-degree glide path, and once we get our V-speeds for the approach, then we'll be able to configure the aircraft more. We're going to put 50 feet onto the MDA, which is going to be a 610, and then we'll continue that descent all the way down to the runway 430. So as you just get ready for that left-hand turn now, the aircraft's past 10,000 feet. Landing lights are all off and checked as we now brake into that left-hand turn. The wings are absolutely fantastic, like they are really well detailed. So breaking that left now to intercept in for the 296 for Foxtrot Juliet Romeo VOR for the first journée. Plus 13,003, there we can see the inbound for the VOR, which is right there, if it was coming in on the VOR. So the VOR is going to lead out. So number 2. Then for the flight plan, which you can also get, we've got our winds, which is going to be right here, and then for the top of descent, all our winds down, we get a fresh set as we come through. And that'll be us set for the arrival. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with the takeoff cinematics. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoy the Airbus and you're an Airbus fanatic, then do stay tuned to the channel, as we will be doing full procedure flights with the Airbus A320, as we're going to be doing a VOR approach, trying that out for the first time on the channel with the lovely Fenix aircraft. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you when we get back after you get some lovely views of the cinematics and some aerial views of the aircraft. So I'll see you when we get back. 290, just passing through 18,000 feet. Got trans altitude of 5,000 as we now approach onto the Merba arrival. We're going to hit Merba below 17,000 feet, which we are currently just around 10 nautical miles or so. We're going to be coming in for the VOR approach. Once we get around 2.3 nautical miles away from the 10 DME mark, we're going to hit down for Lobo, which is our initial approach fix, follow that all the way through until we intercept down onto the 228. For the final approach for the VOR, we're going to hit 10 nautical miles, we're going to come down on a 3-degree glide path, get our V-speeds and everything all in for the approach, and we've got 560 on the MD8, which is going to give us plus 50, which will be 610. So, can do is, we're going to get the arrival perfect, as we get that all ready and set. So, refresh the meter, apply the meter, 25 degrees, 27006 or 1015. So we'll get that in on the destination perf. Let's get the aircraft all ready and set to go. So 1015. Just checked. 25 degrees. Trans altitude 5,000. And winds are 270 at 6. Okay, which is in, going for a full config. And a barrier which is going to be 610, 560 plus 50, which is going to give us that 610. Coming in for the landing weight, what should we get right now? So, on the landing weight, fuel on board 65.8, 4,000, so 0.8, which would be 65.6. Is in, no auto brake, flaps going to be full, water throttle's going to be on, it's dry when we come in, and we're going to be coming in for runway 23. So landing distance available is 3,100 meters, landing distance required is 1512 with a medium auto brake. So we've got the medium auto brake which is in now. As it now passes through just under 14,000 feet, so it needs to be below 170 passing Merba. We're going to hit the approach in at 3,000 feet, which is going to be set and checked. We're going to be riding in onto the 228. See there that we've got the 270 at 6, and we're going to set the VOR up now. So the 11375, which is in, and 113.75, which is also in. We're going to be intercepting that down onto the 228. Okay, just checked. V speeds, the approach. It's going to be 140, so 135 plus 5 is going to be our 140, so VREV full plus 5 will be 140. Nav's at 228 coming in, and we've got the 3-degree glide path, which is going to be set right here for 3,000 feet. Once we get 10 nautical miles, so 10.3 nautical miles, 0.3 nautical miles, we'll activate the approach, we'll then set the vertical deviation up ready for the arrival down onto the runway. So that should be all good for us as the VWell coming in for the Bordeaux, which is 11375, which is right there. As I now just passed through 11,800 feet, you can see the arrival as we come in. So we're going to head down for a little bit, take that left hand turn and then step down onto the runway for runway 23. See the V-speed tape, which is for the speed, which we're going to stay in within, which should be quite nice as we descend down. So landing lights can now go on, we've got runway turn-off lights on, which are checked. Cabin now can be advised. Tell them to get ready, we'll check the recall, which is normal. Engines, which are fine, we'll check on the fuel, which is all fine. Aircon, wheels, flight controls, it's a little bit jumpy with the wind. So as we now approach Lerbu, which is our initial approach fix, we're now going to swing down and then take that onto that left-hand turn. So once we get 0.3 nautical miles from the 10 DME mark for the VOR, that's where we're then going to switch in. So there's a VOR, which is in. We're ready to now hit Lerbu, and we're just passing 10,000 feet. So speed's now in. Lovely views as we come into Bordeaux. Easyjet's a lovely airline, lovely livery to fly as well, very British airline. Then once we descend down on the approach, hit 2,000 feet AGL, we hit flaps 2, drop the gear down and go straight into our approach. Everything's been all set, we've got our winds and everything, which are all in, which are all set down and ready to go. So, Lerbu 250 at 7,006, then down to 4,000, 3,000 for the final approach point. Before we start the descent, we'll switch over then to the VOR, which will then get ready to intercept us. 0.3 will then hit the approach, switch over the track, and then we'll be all good to go. So first time doing the VOR approach on the Airbus, which should be very nice for us to try out today. We've got our minimums, which is 560 plus 50 feet, so we don't go below our MTA altitude. That gives 610, which is already plugged in and checked. Passing through 8,400 feet now. Auto brake can be set to medium, and speed brakes are now armed. Cabin crew, do your final checks for arrival, please, thank you. 3,000 feet, which is managed, which is set. Then once we descend down, we'll see our missed approach altitude, which is going to be 4,000 feet. So once we are set, we'll get the vertical deviation, we'll see the vertical deviation come up a little square. Now we'll hit the final approach, which will already come in as we are ready to go. So there's that final left-hand turn. Before we come through, once we get to 10.0.3 from the Foxtrot Delta 23, so the final approach point, once we get 0.3 nautical miles away, we're going to hit the approach, then the aircraft's going to manage itself all the way down on the descent. 5,000 feet, which is trans altitude, which we're going to set in, which will be set. Just passing 7,000, it's 1015 coming down. 1015, we'll refresh that, just get a fresh new note, so 1015, variable is 7, which is fine. We're doing the VOR approach, can't have no more than a 10 knot tailwind, otherwise we'll have to abandon the approach, and it can't be performed. Got our DME to reference points coming down on the approach as well, which you can check. So we're following it down from the Bravo Mark Charlie, which is the Bordeaux 11375. So when we're at 9 DME, we should be 2007, 8 for 2380, 7 for 270, 6 for 1750, 5 for 1430, 4 for 1120, and 3 nautical miles for 800. 2 nautical miles, that's going to be where our missed approach point is. Missed approach point is 2 nautical miles from the Bravo Mike Charlie, or 1 DME from the Bravo Delta. So we're just coming in now, 9 nautical miles to go, we're just getting ready to pass over 5,000 feet. Switch the QNH is back to 1015. 1015, which is in. 610 MTA, which we can see is in and checked. Landing lights, which are down, ground spoilers, which are armed. I'm going to start bringing the flight control column over now as we get ready to go, as the throttles are quite loose on mine, so it can jump out. As we can see, the aircraft's getting a little bit choppy. 7.1 nautical miles now, and once we get 0.3 from our final approach point, then we're going to get the aircraft all set and ready to go. Right, there's 3,000 feet, which we level off for. Cabin crew, take your seats for a ride. Okay, lateral deviation. See, it's a little bit jumpy as we've got a little bit of wind coming down. It is variable. It's got some lovely little wing flex on the aircraft as well, which is very nice. So we'll see what we can make do with the approach today. 4 nautical miles to go. There's very good deviation coming in. Aircraft is fully established now, ready to go. So I'm going to drop into a flaps 1. Thousand feet to go. Hey, 1 nautical mile, you hit the approach, over onto the VR. Just checked. Okay, final approach now, which is established, MDA 610. The aircraft now lines itself up for runway 23. Coming down now onto our flaps 1 setting, which is our slats. 2,000 feet AGL, we will then activate flaps 2. And runway 23, which is in sight, which is right here. It's a non-precision approach. Okay, so 2,000 feet AGL, we'll get flaps 2 in. Landing lights, flaps are down, get everything all set. In cabin one last time, but I know that we are ready to go. Okay, as we can see, so 7 nautical miles, we need to be at 2360. There's 2,000, so gear down. Flaps 2. It's a very much medium. Okay, landing check its gears down, 3 green, landing light signs are on, cabin is ready, ground spoilers are armed, not fully established, on for the approach, and we have the runway in sight. V-speed 135, 134 plus 5, which is going to give us our 139. The aircraft is visual now, so autopilot can be disengaged, and I have control of the aircraft.
Hundred above. 500. Minimum.
Continue. Okay, flying visually now.
$50, $40, $30, $20, retard.
Okay, ground spoilers are up and reversers are active. Push forward on the column. Okay, knots, reversers can be stowed. Manual braking, and welcome to Marseille, guys. So just get the brakes on as we now get ready to push off of the runway, and that is how you do a VOR approach in the Airbus A320. So we're now going to taxi off. go to stand, and I will then leave you with the landing cinematics. Okay, so as you just now get ready to disembark off of the runway, strobes can now go off, nose can go to taxi, runway turn off, landing lights are off, get the APU which is all ready to come in, start that up which is on, and we are now ready to go. So it was a very nice flight indeed. Hope you guys did enjoy it as well. As we now go to get ready to taxi to stand, I'll do a shutdown of the aircraft as well. And you guys can see the aircraft shut down back into its cold and dark state. Then we'll leave and go on to our landing cinematics. So speed brakes can be fully retracted and flaps can be fully done. And which are all on and checked. That was a very nice approach. It's a little bit rocky coming down on the arrival. So we'll take this left hand turn here. Taxi lights can now go off. Charge checked. APU is now available. APU bleed can go on. Okay, so we'll stop it right there. So ignition start, we did actually get to put that back. So as we've got now the APU which is now on, available. So that will come through, which is available and ready to go. So we'll switch off both the engines which are checked. All the screens etc. can go off. As we now get the IRSs off, which are checked. The beacon, nav logos, everything which can go on the emergency lights. Window heats can now go off. Get our fuel pumps off as well. Okay, and that is us pretty much now ready to shut the aircraft off, guys. So external power's off, just going to shut batteries off. And turn off the APU. That should be us ready to go. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Leave your comments down below. I'm going to leave you with the landing cinematics. Thanks for joining me this evening in the Fenix A320 Airbus, and I'll see you all again very soon for the next available flight on the channel. So stay safe, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.